Hello, and welcome back. It's been a busy year, not just with the military vehicles, but also with garden projects. As a result, I've fallen behind a little, with reporting on shows and where I've been. My last reported event video was from the Tanfield Railway 1940s weekend at the end of May. It wasn't the best weather over the bank holiday weekend. It's a shame, as it was moved from the end of September to May, in the hope of a warmer weekend. 6th of June, D-Day. Within just a few days of the Tanfield event, it was the 80th anniversary of D-Day. The local village was holding a small beacon lighting event to mark the occasion, so we offered to take a couple of vehicles along. I got the Dodge and one Jeep out late afternoon, so I could get the canvas roof and crane fitted to the Dodge. We convoyed there early evening, and got set up along with some ammunition and ration crates. We were joined by a friend in his recently purchased Morris 8. The local brass band performed, as did children from the local primary school. My daughter, representing girl guiding, and another younger boy, representing scouting, lit the beacon later in the evening. Despite it almost being midsummer, it was dark by the time we finished putting the vehicles away in the garage, after getting home. 19th of June, Poppy Photoshoot. Around a week and a half later, I'd noticed a number of local poppy fields in full bloom. It was a good photo opportunity and another excuse to take a Jeep out for a run around. It wasn't a long drive, and unfortunately, none of the fields were immediately alongside roads, so I couldn't get very close to the poppies. It was a nice warm drive out, however, and my daughter and I enjoyed the fresh air, Jeep ride and scenery. 22nd and 23rd of June, Bowes Railway 1940s weekend. I was on my own that weekend, so I only took one Jeep to Bowes Railway for their 1940s show. Bowes almost always has good weather for their show, and 2024 was no exception. I took the Jeep in its ordnance depot markings for the first day. I think it was the first time they'd had a half-track on display, making a change from the more usual Jeeps. There were a few other vehicles there too, including an Austin Tilley and Bedford truck. As usual, there was a battle each day, between groups of reenactors amongst the rail yard tracks and wagons. For the second day, I switched the Jeep to its flying control markings and also took a number of photographic accessories to display. 30th of June, Northallerton 1940s Day. It was an early start and a long trip for the Northallerton 1940s Day. I'd been asked to take the Dodge, so got it out of the garage and fitted the canvas and crane the night before. That allowed a less rushed start the following morning. It took around an hour and a half to get to Northallerton, where we parked up in the main street. There were a number of other military vehicles on show nearby. Further along the high street, there were a large collection of classic cars, buses and a traction engine. The event was from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and was busy with public all day. We set off for home soon after 4 p.m., with a friend's Jeep and a couple of other classics following. 6th and 7th of July, Hartlepool Historic Quay. The Historic Quay event was another show that had been moved from late in the year to summer. Overall, the weather was fairly good for the show. There were around half a dozen vehicles on show and a number of reenactor groups and display. One which is always fascinating to listen to, is the Royal Navy bomb disposal display, complete with parachute mine and diving suit. One of the groups put on a firing display, which echoed around the harbour and sounded like return fire. I was there with my daughter in one Jeep for the first day, and my wife for the second day. Neither were free both days, and for simplicity, we decided just to take one Jeep. On Saturday, it started to rain about 3 p.m. and on Sunday, it waited until the journey home. 15th of July, Dodge put to work again. We needed 3 fence panels for the garden in mid-July, and the easiest way of collecting them was by Dodge. It was a bit wide and too long to comfortably fit into a parking bay, but as the B&Q car park was fairly empty, I parked across 4 bays, so I had access all around the Dodge to tie the fence panels into the back with ropes. That finishes the first selection of pictures and events from earlier this year. The next video will cover some work on the fordgpw and the remaining events and outings into October. I still hope to get both Jeeps out for a Colours of Autumn drive, later in October as the trees are changing colour, but as I write this, it's still a little too early with lots of green still on the trees. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.